I think you can consider yourself lucky.
I come from a very small island, which is Singapore, but I think Singapore is one of the most modern cities in the world, and I'm very comfortable living in Singapore, and I still miss the place. I come to Europe because of my boyfriend, just so that I could be with him all the time, so we don't live in different countries, because I don't think it will ever work out. Like, two persons living in different countries, trying to have a relationship and only meeting up once in a while, you know.
I like games that are not too easy. They don't have like a perfect high score, so no racing or sports for me. I like games that you can put something of yourself in, basically. Like, I want to feel like when I play a game, I'm doing something which no one ever thought of before. I want to be a pioneer into this uncharted territory and be an explorer like Columbus, except in the game. If I'm playing the game and it's very linear and I feel like, okay, everyone who plays this game is playing it just like I am, I don't feel like it's special enough. An RTS, everyone plays it differently, so that's already good for me. RPG, if the options are big enough to customize your character, that's also very good for me. So I like games that are challenging, complex, fun, and maybe reasonably fast-paced. There must be some kind of combat and magic, and it needs to be not too linear. Yeah, there's the tram. The tram that we like to take to get to the airport, except other direction. Very conveniently located next to our house, so we don't have to carry our luggage very far anymore. Our bed, clothing cupboard, nothing you haven't seen before, but that's ours. And I said before that I wasn't the annoying little brother, right? But I'm not sure if that's just wishful thinking on my part. Look, when you're the youngest, I think, with 3 older brothers, they're gonna be older than you. No, you can't change that. They're gonna be probably better at everything that you do, like games and sports. They're gonna be better, they're gonna be faster. There were times where I thought I could outrun my 8-year-old, my brother who's 8 years older than me, but I think he was just letting me win. When I won against my brother in chess, he was just letting me win.
When he was younger, he could be pretty aggressive isn't the right word, but when he had a balloon, he always tried to slap us with it. But if he found like a hammer or something, he tried to do the same, because we thought we were his oldest brothers, so we couldn't get hurt. But he didn't know the difference what was that we felt when he hits us with a hammer or with a balloon. So it was sometimes when he had the wrong item in his hand, we had to run very hard, even when he was very, very little, because he didn't understand the difference. So that was pretty funny.
We didn't physically fight a lot, but if we did, I always thought that my brothers, because they're older, they can't feel pain. So maybe they push me around a little or tickle me or pinch me, but I used to employ weapons of mass destruction, like hit them with toy swords or just throw it at them. And if I got angry, or maybe they deserved it, sometimes it was pretty bad. I hit them quite hard.
When we were younger, we only had one computer, or we had 2, but one was for my dad, so we couldn't play on it. So we had to share it, because we all liked the computer very much. So because my mom didn't want to have, we had fights about it, she said, okay, you share, you an hour, so we could share. We always tried to make your share bigger, just to say, I want to finish this game or I want to finish that game.
If you're actually going to fight for it, none of you are going to play. You're going to lie on the floor with a rough and tumble, and no one is going to play the computer, and that would be a big waste. So we had this rule in order to keep it civilized. Whomever on a day presses the button on the PC first, he reserves a time frame where he can use the PC. So that makes it so that as long as you're the first to press the button, you get to play the first hour or 2 hours. And and then the other brother could say, you know, hey, could you maybe consider in the future the possibility that my person could use the PC if you feel like maybe you've played enough. You know, that's the intro. You got to be careful, because if you piss off the one who's using the PC, you know, you can say bye-bye. And then half an hour later you come back to, so how do you feel about, you know, the chances of me perhaps later today using the PC? And then at some point the rules of warfare have to be considered, and the one who's using the PC must be diplomatic and say, okay, maybe in an hour. So you come back in 45 minutes and say, you know, it's been an hour, can I use the PC now? And then the other will be like, you know, I can't save it right now, so I'm in the middle of a game, but maybe come back a bit later. And then sometimes you'll watch and enjoy watching the other play, and then okay, eventually you can use the PC. And we just try to be as nice as possible towards each other and share the time we use the PC.
We all understood that when you play a game, you want to finish it before you stop. So when you know it's almost your time, you just start a new game, so you have already another 15 minutes before it's finished. So it was always a struggle, but in a nice way.
One thing is like, okay, the one who presses the button first can use the PC first. This was a pretty important point, because when we were in primary school, my youngest brother and me, we always finished school at the same time, and we live in the same house. So you've got to find ways how you can make the journey from school to home the fastest. Yeah? So it was always a big question: do you take the bike or do you run? You know, if you run, you are more flexible. You have higher acceleration speeds at the traffic lights. You know, it takes longer to fire up a bike. You don't have to unlock your bike at the school, and you don't have to put it in the shed. These are all advantages that you have when you run. But the bike is faster across the straight stretches, right? So it pretty much varied sometimes. Like, do you think it's gonna be hard to park your bike in a good place where you can get like the fastest takeoff speed? And then eventually you'll see we would reach home pretty much at the same time. So it's like a lot of slapping the other's hand away when he's putting the key in the lock, or you let him open the door and then you try to floor him and enter the house.
After some time, Manuel got better in Warcraft, and then sometimes it was nicer to watch his games when he played fierce competition. Then we played ourselves. So sometimes we said, okay, you play, we watch, and then even sometimes when the computer was on my room, I said, okay, I go to sleep, but you can still play, and it was yeah. At the end, it worked out well.
Welcome to the third floor. We do 3 things here. We work, and we'll show you that later. First we'll show you I would say kind of like the household room for part 1, ironing, part 2, doing the laundry, and part 3, storing the checks, which we haven't found a place for yet. But here they are. Here, I guess quite a few. Originally we thought we'll wallpaper our new room with it, but I don't think that's very nice. The things my parents said to me when I played I played computer all the time, it was stuff like, well, shouldn't you be doing your homework? And then of course I'll be like a typical puberty kid. Well, my grades are okay, so why should I? No, you have to do homework. Yeah, but I already done it.
Of course, I always want, I don't understand that it was so fun, and I think it's very static, playing all the time on the PC. And I told you before that I like that he goes outside. When
I was more little, like before middle school, like in primary school, there was, well, then they still had like the power over the kid to actually say, okay, now you have to go out.
Of course, I discovered that the children the youngest two want to go on the computer. They want to play on the computer. And for me,